Okay, what we'll discuss is loops. The reason why we have loops is because at times we want to repeat some certain conditions or any particular statement again and again. This repetition has to be done through loops. Okay. For example,
Yes.
at least 5 times it has to check a condition. If the condition is not fulfilled, until then it will keep on doing something. Let me just give you an example of that using, first of all, the most typical and the most widely loop, which is the for loop. Even I use the for loop a lot. How do we build it? Well, it's very easy. The for loop has the following syntax. We type for, and inside for we have three things. We have a variable. For example, I can say a is equals to 0. This, where we write a is equals to 0, this part is known as the initialization of a variable. We are initializing a variable.
Okay.
Okay, when we say that variable a, this is known as the declaration of a variable. We are declaring a variable, fine. But what I'm doing is I'm simply saying, assigning a variable 0. Then what I'll do is I will say is a should be less than and equal to 12. Remember, just like in Excel, we used to have a condition. Same way, this is my condition. So I have initialization, I have a condition, and third, I will have is a is equals to a plus 1. This is known as increment. Remember one thing, that whenever we talk about increment, we always have to initialize the variable. We will always have to increment or we will always have to decrement. We will also say a equals to 1. Fine. And then we have this, just like the code block of functions, we have the code block of for loop. That's why this is important. I'll just invent it. I'll just invent this because it's easier for any programmer to judge what we're just talking about. Let's use document dot write and a. Well, let's preview what's happening. It's coming this way. Let's put a break in between, comma, in double quotes I will write a tag of HTML, which is the BR. Okay, so whenever you have to integrate HTML codes in JavaScripting, remember these needs to come in the double quotes. It's a rule. Okay, your JavaScripting doesn't know what BR is. It will only know what
Yes.
BR is if it's in double quotes. Remember in Excel when we used to talk about user defined, and we always used to say what was user defined when they come in double quotes. Do you remember that? Same here.
Yes.
Whenever we want to define user defined, it has to be double quotes. Now, if I preview this, obviously it comes in separate line. Let's look what's happening. I initialize with 0. Okay, 0 is less than 12, true. Then what it does is a is equals to 0 plus 1. Fine. But then it goes in, since the statement is true. Since the statement is true, it goes inside and it prints a 0. Sorry, document right, print 0, comes back. Okay. Now it doesn't mean that it comes back and it's reinitializes. No, it doesn't reinitializes. The value of a now has been turned into 1. 1 is less than 12. Okay, fine. Then it says statement is true. Then it does is that it adds 1 to 1 and now a becomes 2. So then it prints a, which is 1. Then it prints 2, then 3, 4, 5. Every time the loops keeps on going on. There will be a time when it comes when a has become 12. 12 is not less than 12, but it's equal to 12. Still it's true. I could do something is I could write over here is document dot write, and here I could write is I am out. So if I do this, let's see what's happening. It tells me that I'm out. Why? Because when it turns to 12, then it and 1 is added to it again. So it becomes 13. 13 is not less than 12 and 13 is not equal to 12. So it says no, the condition is not true. I am going out. So whenever this condition is not true, it will come out at once. So this will only be executed. This will only be executed if this statement is true. Once this statement is not true, it comes out. You get the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's not difficult to implement the for loop. Don't worry. You'll practice with some of my activities, and you. By the way, for loop has not come in the past papers directly as a question, but obviously we will practice it. I'll give you some activities to practice. Theoretically, you should know it really well. Okay, the same case
Sir,
is.
ये document को try कब लिखेंगे?
Where document write is simply used to write something directly on the HTML. Document write simply means that I call this is in, do you see doc type HTML? This means this entire thing is a document, right? So it says that inside my document write something which is this. Write a variable, comma, which means comma basically means that I am trying to um, add something to it, which is an HTML tag which has been defined in double quotes. So any other language, if it needs to be integrated with JavaScripting, you'll always see that coming in double quotes.
Yes.
Okay, you see I am out. I don't want it to be part of my JavaScripting. I put it in double quotes. Okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Same way, we have the while and do while. Okay, I can write over here is while a is less than and equal to 12. I should have not deleted it anyway. Now you might be saying, oh, how would I remember all this? No, you will. Don't worry about it. I'll explain it to you. Okay, I have while. Let's preview this. Why am I not getting? Hold on. So I have the. It's the same thing. I could even do is right over here is the. I'm out. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me just copy this script and where's the message? Okay, I'll just keep on sharing this code with you so that you have it. So what's happening now is, let's see.
Okay, sir.
I have another loop which is known as the while loop. While loop works how? While loop says, again you'll see three things. I am initializing, I have as a condition, and I have as an increment. The only thing is now it's a different way. Now you might be thinking, why do we have while loop? Well, different programmers came up with different types of loops. Yes, we should know what they are. Like I said, for loop is one of the best I use as well. But usually there's always a comparison between while loop and do while loop. What happens is
Yes.
that you will realize something that, let's say if I initialize with 13, this is known as dry run testing. Well, if, if I do that the same way, a 0 is less than 12, so write this. Okay, you know what a plus plus is? Sorry, I forgot to discuss this. A plus plus is exactly as if I type a is equals to a plus 1. You didn't ask me what a plus plus is. You knew that? You knew that?
Yes.
Oh, great, great.
Yes, yeah.
Very good. So, in shorter way, we prefer using a plus plus, which means a plus 1. So, obviously, what happens is, same way, it keeps on comparing, keeps on printing, and we get that. What I was trying to say over here was that if instead of 0, what if I do it 13? Tell me what will happen. This is known as dry run testing, which means that before we run it, we should know what the output will be. Yes, what will be the output?
Uh, sir,
Sir,
I
I don't know.
Listen, A is 13. Is 13 less than or equal to 12? No.
yes.
No.
It will directly say I'm out. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Um, let me
Sir,
show
Sir,
you.
like
like
you
you
told
don't
me,
know.
if
If
for
for
and
and
while
while
loop are
loop are
giving the
given the
same
same
output,
output,
then
then
why
why
is
is
there a
there a
difference
difference
between
between
them?
them?
No, like I said, there were different loops made by different languages, by different programmers. Okay, it depends on which one you prefer using. But there is always a
So
comparison
I
So I
can
of.
can
use
use
anyone.
anyone.
You can use anyone, but you should know the structure of everyone, because
Okay.
you can be asked the difference between a while loop and a do while loop, which I'm going to discuss with you right now. There's another loop, the third one, which is the do while loop. Okay, I will
Yes.
discuss with you right now. Before I do that, let me just copy this again, and I want to share this with you as well. Here you go, so that you know the structure of all these three. Here you go.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now I will just do is I will do control right. Now, do you see what's happening? It in that particular case, what happened? It displayed me only I'm out. But now what's happening?
Yes.
It's displaying me 13 and then I'm out. Why is this happening? Let's have a look. I can go back there as well, but before. So I have a variable a which is initialized by 13. Fine. It comes here. Do
Yes.
it says do the following. Okay. It says document.write 13. It does write 13. Fine. It says add 1 to 13. Fine. Then when it wants to go back, and it does go back, it says let me check the condition. When it checks the condition, says no, 13 is neither less than or equal to 12, and says oops, I'm out. But it's too way late. It has already printed it. So do while loop actually does perform your statement once without even checking the condition. I repeat again, your do while loop will execute your statement once even if the condition does not meet. Why again? Now your question will be then why? Because there will be some circumstances where we would want the statement to be executed at least once. In those circumstances,
Yes.
Yes.
do while loop is preferred. You get my point. As compared
Yes.
to the previous one, where we discussed the while loop, in while loop we have the condition first. In the for loop we have the condition inside. But did you see in the do while loop, since I have the condition afterwards, my statement does get printed once. So how do we explain it? How do we say? We say that the do while loop is basically your post repetition loop and post condition loop, and your while loop is a pre condition loop, which means in do while your condition comes afterwards, in while your condition comes before. So it's
Yes.
merely the comparison of the conditions. You get the point,
Yes.
Yes.
right? Okay. Now let me share this with you as well, because the point is you should. Right. Then, one of the most important thing that I will discuss with you, and for us will, is get element by ID. What is get element by ID? Oh, okay, before we discuss get element by ID, we probably did discuss if functions, although that's pretty easy. We can do it afterwards. Get element by ID is more important. Okay. Can you hear me? Back.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, your button has to be triggered through an event, These are all event handlings. Okay, so your function is of no use if it's not triggered by any particular event. So I made a function. That's how we make a function. Call me. Okay, and your function basically has a code block, and the code block has this: go to my document, get element. By the way, element means tags. Remember in your ICT we discussed tags. The other name of tags is element, like title tag, body tag, h1 tag, paragraph tag. We call them tags. Try to find any tag or
Yes.
any element by the ID of yellow. I just named it myself. Do you have any particular tag by the name of yellow? Yes, I do. A paragraph tag. I have a paragraph tag that has the following name. Okay, fine. Dot inner. Now, why do I need to type dot inner? Well, because I need to find it that yellow is where? It's somewhere inside the HTML document. Inside, inner HTML. Equal to, make it equal to this. Okay? Now, this is single equal to. There is a difference between single equal to and double equal to. I will talk about it. Okay? Um,
Yes.
Single equal to means assigning. If I say variable a is equals to 5, which means I'm assigning the value 5 to a. Same thing, I'm doing the
Yes.
same thing. I'm assigning this string to this, which means instead of this, instead of this text, which is in this paragraph, what happens? If I click on this, I see this. Why? Because my button is doing what? On my button, I said when I click on the button, go to call me. It comes here, call me function. It comes to the call me state code block. It sees what's happening inside. It says try to find out yellow within HTML and assign it this string instead of this string. So this is all what is known as event handling, function, and get element by ID. Is it a bit clear?
Yes.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's a bit?
Yes.
Very good. You're quite intelligent, mashallah. Okay, what I'll do now is here we go. Copy. I will just do is share this as well. I don't know why this phone disturbed me afterwards. No, no. Can you see my screen? I'm sorry. What am I doing?
No,
No,
sir,
sir,
it's
it's
specific.
specific.
I'm so sorry. I was just trying to click on the uh, clicking something else and clicking something else. Okay. Right. So get this point as well. Please let me know your email, but if any place then something is not clear to you. Okay.
Yes.
Because obviously I have to go fast with you. I'm going fast with you. There are multiple topics I'm discussing just in a day. Okay, I discussed the for loop, the while loop. I discussed get element by ID. I discussed the function. Okay, I discussed was how to make a button and link it with a function. You get the point. Okay,
Yes.
right. I'll just remove this because now what I want to do is something else. I would like to now do is just listen carefully. I will make is a text box and a button, and we will apply a presence check. You will enter your name. If you enter your name, it's fine. If you don't enter your name and I click on a button, say please enter something. So we will apply a presence check on a text box. Okay, how do we do that? Did you get what I'm trying to do? Did you get what I'm trying to do? I'm just trying to make a form. I'm trying to make is okay. Let me do it. You'll know it. What I'll do now is I'll click on text field. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, text field, and I will name it as, let's say, name. All right. I'll press OK. I get input name this. Let's view it. What do I get? Oh, why am I not? I could do it through coding easily, but sorry. I'm sorry. I'm I'm not supposed to do that in scripting. Okay, I'm not supposed to do scripting. It was clicked inside scripting. I was doing it right because scripting will have this is the part of the
Yes.
content layer. Do you remember that now? Okay, it's not the part of your behavior layer. Scripting is part of your behavior layer. So I have the S name. Okay, here we go. I have that right. Before this, I can type is, let's say, the name, and I could below this I could have it as a button, and my button will be right. Okay. Now what we'll do is okay. Actually, I need to make it a form. Um, can you hear me, beta? Can you hear me?
Sir, yes.
Okay. Name, and I just need to close the form. Second.
So will I have to remember the whole of this code?
No, no, beta. Just one second. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to remember. I'll tell you a much shorter way. Don't have to worry about it. Right. So it says enter the first name. Okay. Let me explain to you. I'll tell you. It's not that difficult. Let's see how it's working. Forget about how will I remember it. Okay. Because if you start focusing on this and getting scared away, it will be tough for you. What's happening is I have this button. Okay. I have this button. Input name submit type is a button. Okay, value submit means on it, submit is written. On click means when I click on this button, call me is the function which will be triggered. Fine. So when I click on this function, it goes over here and tries to find, do I have a function by the name of call me? It comes here and says, oh yes, I have a function by the name of call me. It comes inside this and it says this statement. Look at this statement. It says if. Now if has the following inside it. If it says if in your document you have form 1, yes, I do have a form by the name of form 1, and within that form 1 do you have any other ID by the name of S name? Yes, remember this text box? This text box has a name as S name. Can you see that? S name. And
Yes.
inside, do you have a value which is double equal to nothing? Double equal to, in double quotes, I have nothing. If I put a space, which means it's a value. No, I want nothing in double quotes. You get my point?
Yes.
And you know what double equal to is? The difference between double equal to and single equal to is that single equal to is an assignment operator. Double
Yes.
equal to is a comparison operator. It compares whatever is on the left hand side with whatever is on the right hand side. If both are equal, it will do this. Now, since both are equal, initially there is nothing inside. Is there anything inside? No, there is nothing inside. This is why I click on this, alert comes. If I click on this, why does alert come? It comes because the statement is true. And if I enter something, I click on submit, nothing. The alert will not come.
Yes.
You get my point?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what I was saying was, no, you don't have to like remember all this. I'll delete all this. Okay. What you will do is, obviously, if you have to make a form, one more thing, beta. One more thing. अभी तक CI में they have not asked you to make a form, but we will practice all this. You don't know what kind of paper might come this
Yes.
time. You should know how to make a form. You should know how to make a form and validate itself. It's not something tough. So what you do is
Yes.
you just click on the form tag. You give it a name like form one, the way I did. Nothing else to type. Just leave it, and just I would just press enter. And inside this, I would make now is a text box. In this text box, I would name it as S name. Perfect. And I would make is a button. I would name this button is, and I would write submit. Do you see all this is done? I have not done anything.
Yes.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do. Simply done. All I need to do is on click call me. Right? The only difference that I have done is S name over there was S name capital, over here it's small. So here you go. See, I considered again. It's working same way,
Yes.
right? So nothing to be scared of. Yes, there are some rules. Obviously, it's a language. Just like the way you learn a different language, you should know that whenever you call a function, on click you have to put this. Sometimes students forget to put these brackets. No, you're calling a function. This is an identity of function. How can you forget this? You need to put call me in double quotes. Now, yes, these are some rules that I would like you to obviously cram them. And there's no harm or insult in saying, Sir Simon is asking me to cram. No, every programmer does cram things.
Yes.
You get the point. You need to cram it. And you know what? One of the best and the fastest way is, I will tell you. I will ask you um, very soon, maybe in the next class, that there will be 3, 4 activities, really advanced activities that we will be doing. I would just ask you to, you know what, just cram them. Believe me,
Yes.
just by cramming them, you will learn them. You will learn all the programming codes. You get my
Yes.
point? Okay, so if we've been able to validate this, we will be able to make an entire form, and we will be able to validate the entire form as well. It's not a big rule. The only thing is you should know the structure. Do you know what's happening in this? Yes, perfect. You will remember all
Yes.
this. Okay, let me just pause this, and let me just recap, because all this